Now, we know what makes virtual reality powerful. It lets you suspend physics. There are things you can do in the headset that you can accomplish no other way. You see this power in games, in media, in business, but Facebook's ambitions are far greater than that. We are building a future that allows you to defy distance. Because we know that physical distance can translate into emotional distance. And we ask, what is it that allows people to feel close to each other? 3 social psychologists took on that question and produced the Relationship Closeness Inventory, which suggests that there are 3 dimensions to closeness. First is the frequency of your interactions, just how often you interact with somebody. Then there's the diversity of your interactions, how many different types of things you do together. And then finally, there's the strength of your interactions, which is how much does someone influence your decisions. Every single one of these dimensions is easier if you're physically near someone. But we have demands on our lives that sometimes separate us from a few miles, and sometimes they separate us by continents. And VR could be the tool that erases those miles. Let's start with frequency. It's pretty straightforward. If you're not physically near someone, it is harder to connect with them very often. And it's easy to see how VR could help. You could both teleport to the same place as often as you like, no matter where you are in the physical world. And the same things that prevent you from being physically together also limit the range of activities you can engage in together. Phone calls and text messaging are great, but there's not a lot of variety in interaction there. Meanwhile, in virtual reality, you can have a much greater diversity of experiences than you could have even if you were physically together. Our library already has more than 1,000 different experiences people can engage in, right? Because of all of you, people can have fun together no matter where they are in the world. They can create art, they can defeat enemies. You know, my personal favorite, they can dance. World's smallest dance, just there, you saw it. So the final area of relationship closeness is strength. And I have moments in my life with people that I care about where just being physically present with them is enough. That kind of relationship is hard to sustain over distance. With VR, this kind of intimacy doesn't have to be bound by time zone. You know, while we can maybe just glimpse it today, I'm convinced that in the future, this kind of profound presence with the people we care the most about should be possible in VR. So overall, I would say, while we get a sense of human closeness in VR today, we don't experience it nearly often enough, and it's just a glimmer of what it should be. So let's talk about the work it's going to take to get there. So when it comes to frequency, this is actually pretty straightforward. We just need more people to have access to VR. And we're working on that. We're building better VR headsets. You know, we're already working on headsets that have better displays, better optics, better compute, all to make it more comfortable and more immersive and more inviting for people to get a headset and put it on. We also need to give people more reasons to put the headset on, and that gets towards the diversity. You know, we have some amazing titles in our catalog, and more to come, but our categories are still far too narrow. And then when it comes to strength, we have to continue to pursue our vision of presence. Actually, getting hands in the headset is a pretty good first step. Our avatars continue to make progress, but they're still not nearly expressive enough. And these are all just the building blocks we need to make VR a tool to enable greater human connection. When I think about the future we're building towards, I think a little bit about the relationship I have with my dad. Now, I'm a big Warriors fan, and I'm only a Warriors fan or even a basketball fan because of how much I enjoy watching games with my father, who is reliably wearing a tie-dyed shirt. Now, VR makes it possible for my dad to invite me over to watch a game, you know, to teleport into his living room and sit together on his couch just like we've always done.
Just amazing work. When you rise, you'll be all grown. You ride the waves out into the sun.
Excuse me one second.
On the minds of
Hey, Dad.
everyone.
Hey,
I'm actually working right now.
I'm just about to watch the game. I want you here. Andrew, I miss you. Come on, huh?
Well, look, I mean, I miss you too, Dad, but, I'm at work right now.
If you love me, you'd meet me here. I'll see you at home.
Yeah, 1 second.
Give you what you give to me, twice your weight in luxury.
Found a nice place in Portland. Thompson for three.
You know, you really can't miss the Warriors. Clay's like an artist. He is a Picasso. He's better than Picasso.
Man, you know better than to get me started on Clay, because I will talk all day about that artistry.
Can you get beers here? You know, like an IPA or something?
We're still a couple years away from having beers in the headsets, Dad. Now, it isn't the same as being there, but I tell you, that might be the next best thing. That is a really accurate representation of what it's like to watch a game with my dad, except there'd be a lot more complaints about traveling. So I want all of us to be able to have that experience in VR, things that we care about with the people that we care about. And this is one of the demos that you'll be able to try out later on the show floor, being in a space that's been reconstructed with someone else. So we know that VR has the power to bring us closer together. It is and will remain the most powerful way for us to connect across distance. But here's the thing. Even VR has its limits. There are scenarios where people will struggle to connect in VR. Look at all of us. We're here in the same room. If we all had VR headsets on, that could be a little antisocial. Or consider the scenario with my dad. But let's add one little twist. Let's say my friend has joined me and wants to watch the Warriors game with us, but he's physically sitting right next to me. Well, it's true, he could put a headset on and join us in VR, but then we're sacrificing the richness of actually being together, and that doesn't feel great. So we ask ourselves, what can a technology like augmented reality do to help us feel closer? Today, our interactions with our phones split our attention. We cannot look at our phones without looking away from the world around us. But augmented reality could make it possible to connect with the people who are near us and far from us at the same time. And through AR, there will be an infinite, diverse expanse of things for people to do and to see. Synchronous shared experiences that can deepen relationships. AR will also let you connect with people no matter where they are, even if you're walking down the street, something that's very, very hard to do in virtual reality. To get to this future, we are building AR glasses. Now, we have a few working prototypes, but these are still a few years out. So in the meantime, we're focusing on the deep tech stack necessary to bring these to life. Today, Spark AR is the largest augmented reality platform for the phone. And we're working on deepening the technology to bridge the physical and digital divides. At Facebook Reality Labs, our research teams are starting to build the core infrastructure that will underpin tomorrow's AR experiences. We call this research Live Maps. It's a shared virtual map of the world that involves machine perception, computer vision, and a bunch of core technologies in software and hardware that will also be important for virtual reality. Now, what does this research look like? Imagine the same reconstruction I did with my dad, where we were sitting in a room together, but this time at planet scale. Rather than reconstructing your surroundings in real time, the glasses are going to tap into pre-existing 3D maps of the space. Avatars come into play here too. With a 3D space, avatars could teleport anywhere in the world. You'll also be able to search and share information about the real world just as easily as you can the online world today. And a powerful assistant can bring you information that you need in an instant. At its core, technology like this and on this scale will rely on crowdsourced information captured by connected devices. Here's a closer look.
The world around us is constantly in motion. We need a new kind of map to help navigate this ever-changing landscape. A map like this is about more than just moving through the physical world. It's about enhancing the way we interact with each other and our surroundings. The vision of our Live Maps research is to bridge the physical and virtual divide to bring people closer together. To achieve this, Live Maps uses machine perception to construct multi-layer representations of the world, showing where you are in space, recognizing what things look like, and understanding the intrinsic meaning of objects. Connected devices, like smartphones and AR glasses, will scan the surroundings to create a live dynamic index, amplified by crowdsourced data, allowing the maps to recognize when things have changed and update automatically. Ultimately, our Live Maps research aims to empower people to connect and share in deeper, more meaningful ways. Whether it's improving how we access information, or understanding the context of a situation, to deliver shared experiences through augmented reality, or proactively serving up relevant information in highly personalized ways. Live Maps will one day transform how we all engage with the world, making it feel more immediate, more intuitive, more natural, more human.
With Live Maps research, we're exploring today how the world will be experienced tomorrow. So all of these technologies are being built to help people feel closer. We're building new VR headsets. We're building immersive experiences. We are building AR glasses, all to enable more frequent, more diverse, and stronger connections, to enable closeness. And with that, I'd like to introduce Stephanie Liu to the stage to share more about how we're building the best VR platform. Thank you.